lush landscaping. I think that's self-explanatory. Coulter's become a whiz at 3D modeling, so here's an example of his work. You can see we're standing next to Fiddler, Fifer, and Practical, looking across toward Carthay Circle. And again, we have the largest oak tree that I've ever seen being imported into this spot. So I think we're understanding that Coulter's references to trees and sense of place. We are going to have shade, outdoor dining. The hub here is going to be a really wonderful place to just hang out and watch people and orient yourselves. I think every corner of the hub is going to be a place where, like the hub at Disneyland, you've got the opportunity to orient yourself, hang out, really get a sense of the geography and orientation of the park. And you combine that with the storytelling, the red cars going around, the water fountain trickling away. We think that this is going to be a heads and tails difference from what you experience today. Here's an early sketch of the fountain. It metaphorically is located in the same position as the fountain that we're building now, although it's not the fountain. We looked at several different designs here, and some of you may recognize the photograph on the right there. That's the Department of Water and Power fountain in Pasadena, and we really like that from its period styling. So we started looking at some rough sketches of how we might pick this up and kind of use it as a tool between that and the Mulholland Fountain in Los Feliz to create something that's distinctly LA and distinctly Southern California and really give us a focal point for our new hub. And there it is under construction. You can see it. This photograph was taken last week, so it's behind the construction fence. It's not visible to guests, but we took a couple photos for you here, and you can see how it's starting to shape up. We have a lot of art tile inside, precast concrete, and this will really be a spectacular centerpiece to our new hub.
So you're seeing it here, but you're not going to see it when we open the hub back up for traffic to be able to get through there when we close the street down, because we're going to screen it off, so it'll be part of the opening day celebration when the street's actually open.
You saw it here. You saw it first.
You saw it here. Incomplete, of course. It's got a lot of brass and a lot of interesting ornamentation to it. So as it matures, imagine it circled with nice trees and beautiful street lights, and that'll be the centerpiece of the hub there. Another site photo. You see the fountain in the foreground, mid-ground left, and the tower that you can see above the construction fences there, the Carthay Circle Theater. And I want you to know that the Carthay Circle Theater is something that Coulter worked very hard on. I mean, he worked very, very hard with his team developing this design and coming up with...
I had to sell it to project management first.
Yeah. And,
well, you know,
that's another story. That's another story. But when you're coming up with a building that really serves as the linchpin of the hub and the focal point of Main Street, that carries a lot of weight, and it carries a lot of weight in terms of being a lightning rod for comments and suggestions. And I think. Coulter's done a masterful job of creating this edifice and really giving our park something that we can be very, very proud of.
One thing this slide shows pretty well, this is the existing Hollywood portal here. But what's really happening in a nice way is this little wall over here is part of the pump house, and as well as the red car stop for the hub, that is actually part of the Carthay architecture. So now we have our own little portal to down El Camino Real. As you go through the hub and find your way down to the boardwalk or Cars Land, there's a nice little subtle portal we've created.
Yeah, the beauty of that is the pump house will also serve as a red car stop. So our trolley will the north end is north station is at Buena Vista Street, right at the turnstiles. The next stop down the line is the Carthay Circle, where this pump house is. We're going to have a stop in front of the animation building on Hollywood Boulevard. And then the southernmost stop is down by Tower of Terror on Sunset Boulevard. So we have 4 stops, 2 trolleys running in opposite directions. So it's sort of like the horse-drawn trolley on Main Street. We've got a bypass, so the 2 cars will pass each other on Hollywood Boulevard there.
You can already see that the track's in.
And to Coulter's point, now in what was the existing California Adventure hub, when you look south toward Paradise Pier, you could see the big tank at the tortilla factory. You could see the fruit stand that was down there by Bodine. You could see Paradise Pier. Here, when you look down the throat from the fountain to the rear of the park, we've got a visual block now. So you see a bunch of trees and you see the street winding down. But again, we've created another barrier so that we don't have this kind of these overlapping lands that keep us from having a sense of immersion in the place where you would be currently standing. So we've solved that problem as well by creating this pump house in Carthay. Carthay Circle Theater, it's at the corner of the hub. I mean, I'm sure most of you have seen this rendering. What I will say about it now is that currently it's going to be the home of a high-end restaurant and lounge. And that will, again, serve as the focal point of Buena Vista Street. Do you have any comments?
It's going to be a great place to watch the parades from the terraces. The parade route's being redone, and previously the stepping off point for the parade had been from behind Bugs Life Theater and coming around Sunshine Plaza and then proceeding out towards the boardwalk and pier area. Now it's going to be starting at Tower of Terror, coming down Sunset Boulevard, making a turn on Hollywood Boulevard, and coming through our hub between the fountain and Carthay, and then going back on the same path that it was previously. But that's going to create some great opportunities for viewing the parade on those terraces.
If you look at the rendering here, that building occupies the southeast corner of the hub, the southeast quadrant. The southwest quadrant is the pump house. The northwest quadrant is Fiddler, Fifer, and Practical. And the northeast quadrant will be a park, but that will also be the home of the new Walton Mickey statue. If you look at the little study model that's on display here, you'll see that the Walton Mickey statue is at the front of Buena Vista Street by the flagpole. It's an early model. Since then, we've moved it back to the hub here, and we're going to have an unobstructed view of the statue here. And there's the Carthay Circle.
One thing I wanted to really reiterate is the Carthay Circle Theater does have, I think, huge emotional impact, certainly to all of us in Imagineering, because of its significance in Walt's life. And as you know, when Snow White premiered there back in 1937, Walt had literally gambled everything on this one motion picture premiere, and he was quite nervous. Up until then, people had never really imagined that an animated film could be a theatrical production. They were usually, at the beginning of other movies. And the night, I can only imagine the night that he and Lillian were there at the premiere with the very first audience, watching Snow White for the very first time, and then of course, the reaction afterward made Disney who he was, or at least it furthered that. That's why we're all sitting up here today, and actually that's why all of you are here today. That one moment in time, you can certainly pick many moments in Walt's life that are very significant, but this particular one I think was certainly significant, and that's the homage that we want to pay, which was, that ability for him to show animated films to the world and have them embrace them as a medium and say, you're part of our life. And then from there, this whole Magic Kingdom, was raised.
Here's a man who risked everything and pioneered so many things. Pioneered the first sound cartoon, first color cartoon. And then this animated feature that was false folly, gambling everything. And so that's a huge risk, a huge gamble, and I think to pay that off and to pay that moment off with the building that film premiered, its world premiere, as well as Skeleton Dance was in that same building. So it has a Disney history. Also, it's one of 14 theaters that had Fantasound installed when Fantasia premiered. So Walt Disney had a long-standing relationship with this theater, and we felt it was a fitting edifice to create. Here's the fly-through. You may have seen this in Tom Stagg's presentation yesterday, but we felt it was important to show it again. Up and around. And let's see. Ooh, there we go. Coulter worked long and hard on this.
This is just an early sort of dissolve fly-through to show what the opportunities were for this facility in terms of how dynamic it was in terms of its location on the street and multiple levels of things that could happen here.
Yeah, to Coulter's point, the terraces will have premiere opportunities for parade viewing, and you can actually see the fireworks from Disneyland from the North Terrace. So we feel this is really going to be a great facility for us. Premiere of Snow White, Walt's arrival.